So many cutscenes in the early part. Ah, another novice adventurer. Baderon has sent more than a few of your kind this way of late. I'm Sendimal, one of the Yellow Jackets tasked with keeping the peace in the city. It is also my charge to provide guidance in the use of this device. Fear not, I shall be brief. Aetherites are crystalline structures that tap into ethereal energies. They are primarily used as a means to travel swiftly from one place to another. Return and teleport, the most common transportation spells, make direct use of the Aetherites and their connection to the flow of Aether. And as these devices are found in almost every corner of Eorzea, any adventurer worthy of the name will wish to seek out and attune himself to each one. Once you have expanded your horizons beyond the walls of the city, you will soon find yourself performing the act of attunement as a matter of course. There is, however, no need for unseemly haste. The Aetherites found in and around the city will be sufficient for the present, I assure you. Should you wish to learn more about Aetherites or transportation magic, I will be here to answer your questions. Yes, I am Aldskiff. You have some herbs you wish me to examine? Yes, as you suspected, these are the highly illegal blooms known as dreamflowers. They are the prime ingredient in the creation of somnus, a substance whose fragrance is said to lull the sniffer's mind into the sleep of death. Forgive me, I could not resist the jest. These herbs are not more than Althic lavender, a common enough export from Limsa Liminsa. In fact, these probably spilled from crates that were loaded onto my very own ship. I think someone has been having a bit of fun with you, son, but not to worry. You've learned a few things and made a new acquaintance. Well met. By way of thanks for delivering my scattered lavender, I have a nugget of information that may prove useful to you. You see, I was recently approached by an unkempt seafarer, which is not, I admit, particularly unusual for a man in my profession. What was unusual was that he offered a generous sum of gil to be introduced to any adventurers I might know. In my experience, sailors are not known to carry such a wealth of coin about their person, especially with the alehouses of Limsa Liminsa so close at hand. Kidnappings have not been uncommon these past moons. I suggest you take this information and speak with Glazriel, the guard who stands at the entrance to East Hawker's Alley. It never hurts to show a spirit of cooperation to the authorities, lad. Nasim? Excuse me, sir, but might you have a moment or two to spare? You seem the type who enjoys being accosted for menial tasks, and I require someone to make a delivery to the dutiful sisters of the Edelweiss. I wouldn't be surprised if you hadn't heard of them. The sisters prefer not to advertise their presence here in Limsa Liminsa. They do, however, provide a rather unique service of which the Brugere Consortium has recently been the beneficiary. I would have you deliver this package to their doorman, Lonward, along with our profuse gratitude. The lava hate is very strong. Sweet Nick's rosy cheeks. Pushka. They always say this like weird hissing stuff. Sweet Nick's is beauteous, gobby, and crafty smart trade maker. Sweet Nick's makes busy deal with uplanders. Need deliver letter to Gata meal van. Sweet Nick's has shiver shakes. Uplander walks to get a meal van for Sweet Nick's. Uplander delivers letter to tax lady Taja. Sure. That is disturbing news. Your initiative is appreciated, adventurer. I'll have the captain place the Yellow Jackets on high alert. And while I have your ear, I need you to visit Fridwib, and tell her the same thing you told me. You'll find her a bit further down East Hawker's Alley. Fridwib has frequent dealings with adventurers, so any warning you give her should soon spread through the city. Is there a way? To the lodestone. Nope. Big sad. Looks like they're still not online. Swazbleat. A fine morning to you, sir. Welcome to the most replete marketplace in the grand realm of Eorzea, where every shelf groans under the weight of wonders born from all four corners of the world. Pray browse the stalls until your eyeballs ache from ogling the overabundance of unbelievable bargains. Now, as much as I would love to elaborate upon the unrivaled quality of our merchandise, I must tend to some cargo but recently arrived at the docks. You bear a gift from Baderon? Whatever could it— Ah, my octant. By the navigator, I must have left it behind in the wench, along with a week's pay and several bells' worth of intoxicated memories. I am most grateful to have it back. This tool is a keepsake from my days as a ship captain, you see. Needless to say, your good deed must be repaid, and what better recompense than the wisdom of a master merchant? If it is simple and sturdy adventuring equipment you seek, you need look no further than the east and west arms of Hawker's Alley. Lest you doubt, each gil you invest in arms and armor will be money well spent. Adventuring is, after all, a dangerous profession by its very nature. It goes without saying that Hawker's Alley boasts stalls specializing in the tools of every martial discipline imaginable. And within but a few steps are bazaars and apothecaries that will most amply supply all your potion and perishable needs. Our keen-eyed agents procure a frankly befuddling range of wares during their sojourns to distant shores, so it pays to become familiar with the type and price of the goods offered by each stall. Such knowledge will serve you well if your purse is light or your time is short. But verbal instruction of this kind will only profit you so much. Experience has ever been the surest teacher, if not the kindest. I invite you to explore the markets for yourself. You, sir, adventurer, I have work for you. I would have you pose as a customer and survey the market's current prices. Surely I did not see you balk at so simple a task. All you need to do is strike up a conversation with the shop owners and glance over their wares. There are 3 merchants that interest me: Iron Thunder, Kyokrun, Kyokyorun, and Sunny Hill. Write down all you see on this price list and hand it to Bain Singh on West Hawker's Alley. He shall reward you for your service. Fridwib. Greetings, might I interest you in the services of retainer? What's this? Some suspicious seafarer is on the prowl for gullible adventurers? A possible suspect in the recent kidnappings, you think? Well, I'll be sure to pass on that warning to my customers. What with all the merchants and travelers milling through Hawker's Alley, these kinds of unsavory activities can often go unnoticed. In any case, I promise to keep a sharp lookout for anyone being accosted by strange-looking sailors. Retainers are hard-working lads and lasses who will help you to manage the spoils earned while off slaying dragons or whatever it is you adventurers do. Unfortunately, you do not appear you could even slay an eft, let alone a dragon, therefore I must decline any petition you may have to take a retainer into your employ. Build yourself a reputation in this city, however, and I shall provide you with whatever it is you need. Might I suggest you start by heading back to the Adventurers Guild and seeing if someone there has work for you. Well met, lad. Cast your peepers over these beauties. Not a spot of rust to be found. Every piece fresh from the forges of Naldic and Vimelius. Kyokurun welcomes welcome customer. Kyokurun loves his lovely trade. Kyokurun's goods are goodly made. A fine morning to you, sir. What can I interest you in? Why, you seem interested in most everything, don't you? Is this another one of those investigations? Well, I have nothing to hide. You're the one what made a list for Swazblade? Let's have it then. Nothing wrong with the market as far as I can tell. You oft-times get pirates selling stolen goods at cutthroat prices, and that drives the numbers down right across Hawker's Alley. Thanks to these reports, though, we can tell at a glance when shady dealings are taking place. Good work, lad. Ah. Taja. We're a sweet nix with those import records. Without the proper documentation, I'm afraid we shall have to expel him from the city. Why, these are Sweet Nix's records. Glad I am to see they were submitted in time. Honestly, you would think that Goblin would have lost his fear of our offices by now. Every month he is to submit these papers, and every month his tardiness forces me to consider his removal. As long as one follows proper procedure, Limsa is quite welcoming of foreign traders. Pray convey these words to Sweet Nix. Perhaps it will aid in soothing the poor Goblin's fears. Here at Milvan's Gate, we inspect all the goods that are imported into Limsa and collect duty as the law requires. Some merchants, however, seek to evade this obligation, and we must chase them down. I would be grateful if you could deliver these 2 ledgers, one to a man named Sundamal, whom you will find at the Octant, and the other to a woman named Letitia, who works at the Bismarck. I would be grateful if you are uncertain as to the whereabouts of the Bismarck, ask Sundamal when you meet him, and he will point you in the right direction. Alright, I think I may have skipped something. Welcome to the Arcanist Guild. It is here that we research and develop the field of Arcanima. Arcanima is the science of employing arcane geometries, intricate patterns that map the unlocked mysteries of existence to draw forth and manipulate the body's etheric energies. But if I am not mistaken, you already possess some rudimentary understanding of the craft. Shall I deepen your knowledge of our history as well? The roots of Arcanima can be traced back to the esoteric calculations practiced by the people of the South Sea Isles. It was these island folk that first discovered a method to express natural phenomena in mathematical terms. Building on this process, the existing mathematical formulae were further developed into arcane geometries, precise patterns that allowed a practitioner to weave aether into specific magical effects. The mages who invoked this new form of magic became known as arcanists, and the school of Arcanima was born. Many such mages wishing to expand their understanding of the world took to the seas aboard trading vessels. Upon their arrival in Limsa, arcanists found themselves welcomed into the academic elite, and soon secured positions in the realms of governance and council. The knowledge of an arcanist, however, is traditionally passed on from master to chosen disciple, and as such, Admiral Merlwyb, counting several wielders of Arcanima among her personal staff, became concerned that this exclusionary practice would lead to the eventual extinction of the art. So at the Admiral's express orders, an official Arcanist Guild was established and funding was provided for research and training. The complex and demanding nature of Arcanima, however, remains the greatest threat to its own future. If you would continue your study of this challenging discipline, then I must insist that you indicate your commitment to joining our guild. Well, have you decided to enroll in our guild, or are you now intimidated by the thought of excessive thinking? Your sound judgment is to be commended. Now standard practice dictates that I introduce you to our guildmaster that you might convey your intentions in person. Due to extraordinary circumstances, however, he is unreachable at present. Instead, you may speak with Mistress Thubergim. She has shouldered full responsibility for the guild's leadership in the interim. You will find her just over there by the bookshelves. You needn't be shy, though her mind is sharp and critical. Her manner is always most welcoming. Yes, I am Thubergame. Greetings and welcome to the Arcanist Guild. As Miri has doubtlessly explained, I am serving as acting guildmaster until our wayward leader deigns to return. I assume our capable receptionist also spoke of our art's origins? Allow me then to expound upon its nature. Arcanima taps into the living energies of aether. The evidence of this is represented most aptly perhaps by our ability to manifest the arcane entity Carbuncle, and the manner of magic which this ethereal ally employs at our command. The core of the discipline, however, is found in the pursuit of definitive solutions to any potential quandary. Even on the field of battle, nay, especially on the field of battle, this principle takes precedence. If one wishes to make certain the question of victory, then one must apply the most effective strategy, and Arcanist is measured by his ability to calmly analyze a situation from moment to moment, and respond with the most appropriate spells at hand. The study of Arcanima will test your mental faculties to the point of perplexity. Are you prepared to reason your way through predicament after predicament? An unambiguous response, the kind I most prefer. Let us now see if the clarity of your words is matched by the sharpness of your mind. In Lower Lenosha you will find, among others, 3 species of pest, wharf rats, little ladybugs, and Aurelie. 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 I ask that you employ your skill in Arcanima to eradicate 3 of each type of creature. Leave the city through the Tempest Gate, and you will soon encounter the potential targets in abundance. As long as you remain focused, I do not foresee these opponents causing you or your budding abilities undue difficulty. Once you return from completing this preliminary trial, I will welcome you as an official member of the Arcanists Guild. May your judgment remain swift and clear. The calamity really knocked the wind out of the fishing industry's sails, but the fisherfolk are starting to return to the seas once more. It's past time I did the same. But before I can put out to sea again, I need to have a new boat built. Our guild has always commissioned Naldic and Vimelius for its crafts, but they are beastly busy these days. If you went for something to do, mayhap you could run over to the Armorers Guild and consult with Forge Master Nanza in my stead. I would know how long we might expect to have to wait. Uplander delivered letter to Gate of Mealvan. Uplander has wide heart and swift legs. Tax Lady Taja has kind backwards for Sweetnix. Sweetnix has outflow of joy for Tax Lady Taja. Sweetnix's Happy Gobby gives Uplander Jingly Shine. Thanks for the money. A ledger from Mealvan's Gate, you say? Yet more outstanding duty payments. When will those merchants ever learn? Very well, if I catch sight of any offenders, I shall drag them to the gate, kicking and screaming if needs be. One more ledger bound for the Bismarck, you say? Follow this path to the upper decks and you'll find the place. Beg your pardons, good sir, but you are an adventurer, are you not? I realize this is sudden, but we urgently need help restocking our larders. We are in the midst of preparing a full-course meal for soon-arriving guests, but I fear we are short on fresh lamb for the main course. I would be grateful if you could procure 4 slices for us. I dare say it would be quickest to attain these directly from the source, wild lambs. In case you are unfamiliar with the creatures, I suggest you speak with Abelfair, a sentry stationed in Bulwark Har just below the Drowning Wench. Letitia. Tax evaders among our patrons, you say? Goodness me. I dare say this may well put an end to their appetite, but this is in the best interest of the city-state. If any of the merchants named in this ledger come to dine with us, I shall see that Mealvan's Gate is notified without delay. We spare no effort to ensure that all our patrons enjoy the finest food and hospitality, and so it is doubly hurtful when someone decides to leave without settling the bill. Nary a bell ago, our first-time patron did just that. Sushmo is the one who lovingly prepared the man's meal. She is quite upset by the whole affair, and has taken it upon herself to draw an illustration of the offender. Might I trouble you to deliver it to the Yellow Jackets on our behalf? Sushmo would be done adding the finishing touches by now. I poured my heart and soul into that girl Dodo. If I ever get my hands on that scoundrel, I'll grind his bones to make my bread. Here it is, my rendition of the criminal. Please deliver it to Godebert at the Coral Tower. He will know what to do. Oh. You want for coin venture? Ouch, you fancy working for the Kraken's Arms, one of the greatest pirating crews in Limsa. If you're interested, take yourself up these here steps to the balcony above, and talk to Carvalin, our captain. Do right by him, and you'll do right by ye. Greetings, friend, and welcome to the Seventh Sage, purveyors of the finest spices from the East. All of our products are guaranteed obtained through completely legal means. Oh, you do not seek spices but employment? Well then, let us speak of how you might be of service to our organization. Our misery returned from our latest voyage bearing exotic spices never before seen in Eorzea. I have prepared 2 samplers, each of which I would have you deliver to certain individuals. The first is for Ginnaid, whom you will find at the Coral Tower. The second is for Master Lingsa, the head chef of the Bismarck. And do make certain the right person gets the right set. Go now and return here once you have accomplished the task. Welcome to the headquarters of the Yellow Jackets. The keepers of the peace in Limsa Lominsa. Is there aught I can assist you with? A sample of spice, courtesy of the Seventh Sage, you say? There is no mistake. This is fire sand, and the kind used by the Garleans besides. Quite intriguing. Very well, we will consider placing an order. Oh, you thought you had brought me spice? I see you are not familiar with Carvalinisms. For the sake of convenience, he uses the word spice to refer to literally anything he has procured on the high seas. Lest you worry, the man isn't engaged in any activity that is considered piracy. Far from it. Think of him as a trader, a heavily armed one, who represents Lominsan interest in eastern lands. I feel like that's illegal. An alarming number of citizens have gone missing of late, though I suspect you've already heard the rumors. It is essential that we ascertain their safety. To this end, I have prepared a list based on reports from our citizens. Would you be so kind as to deliver it to my colleague in Bulwark Hall? Delica is her name. My thanks in advance, friend. Ginnaid. A bilker at the Bismarck, and you have an artist rendition of the man? Or what in the 7 hells is this supposed to be? It looks more like the prow of a ship than a man's face. Look, would like nothing more than to bring the offender to justice. 'Tis our duty, after all. However, we will need a little bit more to go on than this piece of art. It would be easiest of all for all involved if Sushma were to come here and answer some questions. Please relay to her as much. Ah, so you've spoken with Godebert. Within the bell, the Yellow Jackets will have that swindling scoundrel locked in a dungeon cell, and then I'll take my filleting knife and... Huh? Godebert wants me to go to the Coral Tower for questioning? But what more information does he want that my drawing doesn't already provide? Isn't a picture supposed to paint 1,000 words? A new sample from the Seventh Sage. Alright, let's have a whiff of it then. Whoops. Ain't smelled nothing like it afore. The note as came with it says it's a root what grows on Othard. Last I heard, Othard was under Imperial rule. How the 7 elves did Garvelin manage to get hold of this? Any road, I reckon I can cook up something fresh and new with it. Thanks for the delivery, friend. Voice is going away. Welcome back. It would seem both samples were rather well received, and this is in no small part due to our affable courier. 'Tis unfortunate, but notoriety accumulated over the course of years does not fade overnight. There are many still who are hesitant to do business with savage pirates. Yet the old days of piracy have passed, giving way to a new wave of opportunity, and my crew and I have decided to embrace this wave. With the Admiral's blessing, we engage in a form of trade with Garlean ships. Everything we do, you may rest assured, is within the law. Ah, there you are, Carbon. Enjoy your jaunt round the city, did ye? If you mean to base yourself in Limsa, that won't be the last time you'll visit them pretty places. And now you've got some idea what's where, you can start exploring the rest of the town. You've shown a good ear for listening, lad. Stick with old Batteron and you'll go far. Still in Limsa, are you, Carbon? How'd you fancy a trip outside the city walls? If you'd like to visit an orchard by the name of Summerford Farms... I'd like you to visit an orchard by the name of Summerford Farms. Wood, goodness. Ever heard of the place? The owner, Stelwern, is an old mate of mine. He's got himself a crew of mostly reformed pirate types, if you can believe that, and has been trying to bring a bit of life back to the fields after the calamity ruined the soil. You mentioned needed another and or two, and your name sprang to mind. I gave you a glowing recommendation, so make sure you work hard and impress the old bastard. You need directions? The place ain't hard to find. Just take the Zephyr Gate out of the city and follow the road northeast. Can I talk to you now? Greetings, I am one of the smiths, a stoker of fires and forger of futures. As a dedicated member of the Adventurers Guild, I have been entrusted with the task of providing assistance to new adventurers. I see you have but recently taken up the adventurer's mantle. The possibility stretching out before you must be positively daunting. In the Adventurers Guild, we see new adventurers as fledgling heroes. You are our champions of tomorrow, our nascent stars of limitless potential. My fellow smiths and I are here to provide you with guidance, but the guild also enlists a some sort of group of veteran adventurers who will be happy to share with you their accumulated wisdom. You can recognize these helpful men and women by their title of mentor. Mentors stand ready to advise you on any aspect of adventuring. They have hundreds of quests under their belts and will likely have a solution for whatever dilemma might be causing you trouble. A mentor may even offer to accompany you on your adventures. I highly recommend that you take advantage of a mentor's aid to enrich your experiences in Eorzea. Pray do not hesitate to ask me if you would like to know more. Oh, you've returned. I hope you do not harbor any ill will towards me for my earlier deception. You see, I believe the most important lesson for a green adventurer to learn is that he should always question the motives of everyone he meets. If I have given offense, allow me to make it up to you with some advice. Tell me, have you visited the Eyes outside the Tempest Gate and past Madman Bridge? The sentries stationed there keep watch over the road, and when trouble arises, they sometimes turn to outside help. If you wish to make a name for yourself as a trustworthy adventurer, you should speak with Ancreta at the Eyes and offer your assistance. I'm not even going to try to say your name. These days, poor Bowderon's so busy looking after others he hasn't been able to look after himself. He deserves something for his efforts. Whenever he's in his cups and starts speaking of the old days, he never fails to mention Aurelie. Seems he and his mates used to eat the creatures on occasion. It's obvious he still has fond memories of that life, so I'm thinking a few Aurelia umbrellas might be something he'd appreciate. Could you help me by procuring 4 of them? If you're willing to help, speak with Clindriel by the Aft Castle. She knows where various wild beasts congregate. You have attuned yourself to all the Aethernet shards in Limsa Lamensa. The Zephyr Gate, the Tempest Gate, and the airship landing are now accessible as Aethernet destinations. If you're looking for a place to wet your whistle, Scrag, I'd advise you to turn tail and run. Captain Roswin's in no mood to be entertaining customers this eve, and even when she is, she ain't particularly good at it. Though maybe dealing with the customers is sort of shite, what might shake her from her doldrums. But if you mean to venture inside the missing member, you best remember to pay your proper respects to the captain, unless he ain't afraid of going missing. Kneeling a 4 would be a good start. Oh, so he knows this place. Good. If only the Krakens had the same sense of propriety. Grassers keep seizing every Garlean ship before we can take a crack at 'em. 'Tis a sorry state of affairs when your crew's reduced to preying on the leavings of that mangy bunch of man-boys. Me younger self would be right disappointed to see how far we've fallen. Oh, drama. So you do know something of me, Payne, but your sympathy ain't worth more than a pint of piss. It's well and good we got the Admiral's permission to capture Garlean ships, but what's the use if you keep on getting beat to your prey? We built our reputation reaving right off the coast of Vilbrand, not sailing a dozen moms into the bleeding sea. The few Imperial dogs found in Leminsin territory get snatched by Krakens unto the open waters. I rallied me crew's spirits when I said we were reviving the old ways, but after all our struggles, they seem resigned to letting those bastards have all the fun. Huh? You trying to make light of me dilemma? Don't push your luck, Scrag, or I'll get you with the hook, like a regular pirate. Wait, that's it. We're pirates, goddammit, so we should think like pirates. Bugger keeping limits and water safe. We'll raid supply shipments to the Garlean outpost along the coast of Aldenard. Ah, it's so bleedin' simple. I don't know why I didn't think of this before. Thank you for your unintended inspiration, Scrag. To think I almost had you fed to the sharks. I gather your meeting with the captain went well. I could hear her cackling all the way out here. Well, whatever you did, thank you for doing it. Last thing we needed was her going on another rampage, ruining deck slobs and leaving us with less meat. Tain't easy playing by the Admiral's rules, but if anyone can find a way, Captain Roswin can. Achievement! For questy quests. Baderon actually likes Aurelia umbrellas? Gods, I've never even considered trying to eat one of those foul things. Nevertheless, if it's Aurelia you seek, you ought to find plenty by the river just past the Tempest Gate into the east. A new boat for the Fisherman's Guild. I'm afraid now isn't the best time. You see, we have recently taken on a commission for a galleon. This task alone has our hands full. But look, I will see what I can do. The Fisherman's Guild has long been one of our best clients, and I would be loath to disappoint the Sapu. It may yet take a while, but I shall endeavor to have her boat ready in a timely fashion. Are you in need of some trifling task to pass the time? Then I have just the job for you. Baderon is offering a reward to any adventurer who slays at least 5 wharf rats. There's no shortage of the pests lurking outside the Tempest Gate, so you should hurry and take advantage of this opportunity. Welcome to Limsa. If there's aught you would like to know, feel free to... You've got something for me, you say? I'm missing persons lists. I'm not sure I follow. Thanks for bringing me the list. I'll be sure to memorize these names. If any of the missing persons reappear, you can count on me to spot them. Most folk enter the city via the Zephyr Drift, which means they must pass through Bulwark Hall. That's why I'm on constant watch here and undercover so as to keep an eye out for suspicious activity. I've been doing this for so long I've become a pretty cool judge of character. If there are shady characters skulking about you, and rest assured I can pick them out. Sounds like you're already in the Yellow Jacket's good graces. You truly are a model adventurer, a paragon among your fellows. Do you think you could do me a favor? You see, I'm supposed to go and fill up all the street lamps with oil so that they'll stay lit through the night, but thanks to this business of missing people, I can't simply up and leave my post. If you could tend to the street lamps in my stead, I'd be eternally grateful. When you're finished, please fetch more oil from Sisapu and the Fisherman's Guild. We're running low here, and she has care of our stores. Which way? You're doing what? What am I to do with that girl? She has the nerve to ask me for work twaddle tripe about her savings, only to foist it on the first adventurer that comes along. Being young and pretty does not give you license to shirk responsibility. I shall get her oil all right, and a piece of my mind to boot. The trance gauge indicates the time remaining for the effects of Aether Charge. Executing this action also grants Ruby Arcanum, which is used to summon Ruby Carbuncle. Upon reaching level 15, Aether Charge will also grant Topaz Arcanum for the summoning of Topaz Carbuncle, and at level 22, Emerald Arcanum for the summoning of Emerald Carbuncle. Each summon, when called forth, will tap into its respective Arcanum, granting you stacks of an elemental attunement indicated on the trance gauge. These elemental attunements will augment Gemshine and Precious Brilliance. We're known to hire adventurers, 'tis true, but we always go through the Adventurers Guild. Even if I wanted to assign you duties, Yellow Jacket regulations prohibit me from doing so directly. Now, if you don't mind working in an unofficial capacity, I have a personal request I can make of you. Me Grandad's head of the Red Rooster Stud, Anaox his name. He asked me to bring him some river toad livers, but the mere thought of pulling slimy livers out of slimy frogs gives me the shivers. Maybe he'd care to fetch a liver or 3 for me. You can get him by slaying the river toads what dwell around the eyes. You're a lifesaver, adventurer. Now, I take these livers to Grandad myself, but I can't just up and leave me post, not to mention the mere sight of those slimy things makes me stomach churn. Would you mind doing the delivering in me stead, final Anna? Get the Red Rooster stead, and you can turn those river toad livers to Gil. Oh my gosh, that guy's ranting a panda. That was cool. Mind looking into something for me, adventure? It may even be of interest to you, in fact. I'm told that plots within Mist are to be auctioned off. You, me, hells, even a 12-damned wandering minstrel could purchase their own piece of La Nocia. And upon that plot of land, you'd be free to build a house for you and yours. And you can't tell me that the thought isn't at least slightly appealing, can you? 'Tis a bit surprising that the Thalassocracy had the time and resources to prepare such an area, what with the kobolds and primals causing all manner of trouble. But who am I to judge the priorities of politicians? Much less pirates, eh? Besides, I'd like nothing more than to own my own home. There they go. If a lifetime of meticulous research into the advancements of agricultural arts has taught me anything, it is that the fruits of knowledge are incapable of preserving themselves. Without an adventurer's brawn to protect them, I fear all my work will come to naught. Take, for example, the splendid ogre pumpkin crop I was able to cultivate. Years of hypothesizing and testing at last made tangible, only to be snatched away by the subterranean sorners, the clever hedge moles. I've already engineered the pumpkins to resist fire, drought, frost, weeds, insects, and festive rituals. I just need someone to kill the moles. They call me the stud shepherd, but all 3 kinds of livestock we breed here fall under my crook. Nevertheless, sheep remain my first love, my one true passion. So you can imagine my dismay at finding my flock in frumpy fleece. I can't very well take worn-out wool to the market. A sheep with no shine is good for nothing but mutton. But where there's wool, there's a way. See what Chartain has to say. I swear this is the last time I send that granddaughter of mine to fetch river toad livers. Why, these are the livers I asked for. I should have known better, and Creta has been dainty since she was a wee lass. I regret any trouble we've caused you. I heard that the New Worlders use fish livers as fertilizer, and so I thought I would give toad livers a try. A farmer can't be afraid to try new things. Nay, he must grow his knowledge as he grows his crops. That's how this farm grew to be what it is. You'll do well to stick around and see. I hope you don't feel sheepish about hauling a wee bit of wool. The flock's fleece is shorn and scoured, and the sack is all set to sail. Normally the Manic Miller up north takes it and felts it for us, but it seems the only wool his courier is tending to today is his blanket, that lackadaisical loafer. So I hoped you might see to it the sack of fleece down by the flock's pen reaches the miller. Waits therein is his name. Mogrim had some little lambs whose fleece was white as snow, but everywhere the little lambs went, lice were sure to go. Now we're stuck with lousy sheep. And the time it takes me to brush one clean, the lice spread to 2 more. I just can't keep up with them by myself. If you could brush 3 shaggy sheep for me, we might be able to wipe out the infestation altogether. Let Mogrim know his sheep are in ship-shape once you've finished. For an adventurer, you certainly know how to wield a lice comb. As I'm sure you have found, sheep are delicate souls that require delicate care. Truly wonderful wool requires time, love, and tenderness. You must caress their coats ever so gently, listen to their soft bleating in your ear, feel the warmth of their breath on your neck. What the heck, Mogrim? They may call it the Red Rooster Stead, but make no mistake, dodos are the birds that keep the stead steady. Those sweet and tender eggs, that succulent meat, so long as you remove a dodling's poison glands, you're in for some scrumptious and healthy poultry. They're so delicious, I have to remind myself some birds just aren't meant to be caged, or perhaps I don't. Talk to Expiand to see if we can't return those exquisite creatures to their pen. A Lalafell. Am I ever pleased to see you? I was about to cry foul, but with your help we can round them up. Those dim-witted dodos pecked through the fencing and fled the coop. Luckily they know better than to leave the stead. There are 3 bolting dodos in all. If you spot one, just throw one of these dodo-sized sacks over its head. Once you've caught all the birds, would you mind leaving them in Mogrim's care? I need to repair the fencing before we can return them to this enclosure, you see. I've heard everything. Hand me the dodos. Oh, my precious darlings, without their poison breath, they're defenseless out in the wild. Daddy Dodo gets so worried. And now my dodos have another daddy. You'll stay around and look after my babies, won't you? At least until they're ripe for slaughter? I am uncomfortable with how he talks about animals. I'm fine. Okay. What is it, adventure? Ah, yes, the auctions. By order of the Admiral herself, Mist and all plots within are to be sold exclusively to adventurers so as to encourage their immigration to Limsa. Why only adventurers, you ask? Practical necessity, really. Limsa is in dire need of fresh blood, capable, courageous adventurers who will fight her foes and protect her interests. Those who build a home here will have that much more incentive to aid us. As for what manner of place Mist is, I think it best that you journey there and see for yourself. Please direct any other questions you might have to the recruit stationed just past the entrance. Greetings, adventurer, and welcome to Mist. A Leminson sent you say? Ah, that's unfortunate. All Leminsons are barred from participating in the auctions, you see, on account of the fact that they're, well, Leminson, Admiral's decree. If you find the area to your liking, though, please consider speaking with the resident caretaker. She can guide you through the process of purchasing a plot for yourself. Cool outfit. There you are. What news have you brought me? For the purposes of luring adventurers to Limsa, that's unfortunate, but it does explain a great deal. Looks like my dream of owning my home will have to wait a little longer, but don't you worry about me. My day will come soon enough. Well, that was so easy it makes me wonder why I've spent my life formulating complex solutions to problems rather than merely going around killing things. Nevertheless, I'm afraid it's too late to alter my methods now. I'll continue to focus on the complex solutions and have you stick around to kill things. What hubris. What arrogance to believe that I, one woman alone, could overcome the unfathomably vast and profound mysteries of nature, but with you here I'm sure we can do it. Care to partake in an inexorable march of science? The concoction I'm currently formulating could change horticulture as we know it. Imagine a fluid one could strew over crops to ward off pests. All I need are some ladybugs and someone to squash them. Ladybugs simply cannot resist aphids. Find some althic lavender, dab it with a bit of aphid nectar, and they'll come swarming to the slaughter. Oops. It's elementary, really. Aphids live in fear of ladybugs, and so applying the scent of ladybug blood to our crops is certain to ward off the parasites. We are manipulating the laws of nature. Of course, we could have just let the ladybugs go on defending the crops as always and not squash them for their viscera, but I hardly see the science in that. Breathtaking, is it not? Proud sails turning, ragged gears churning, the mill never stops, and so neither can the millers assign to its upkeep. Vigilance is the key, but by addressing tomorrow's issues today, we assure the wheels of prosperity continue to grind. Unfortunately, I have my hands full with the work of the day and cannot leave my station to tend to inspection. I would entrust this duty to you. Seek out the other 3 millers, heed their concerns, and apprise White Zarin of your findings. A miller with no fleece is an artist with no canvas, a poet with no words, a man with no purpose. Curse that blasted courier. Do the sheep stop growing? Does the mill stop churning? What entitles him to rest? Bah, let him count sheep in his bed. The wool is at last mine, and soon the felt shall be wrought. Now, felting wool is all well and good for your run-of-the-mill miller, but you know what gets my grindstone spinning? Grain. What worth has wheat? None but once shred into fabulous flour, even the confounded Galagos can't keep their hands off of it, which is precisely why I need you to slay them and recover the 4 sacks they pilfered. Once you have done so, take the sacks of flour down to the stead, and Scar and Mar will take care of the rest. For now... Summerford Farms bears the charge of the Admiral Settlement Initiative. We're rewarded handsomely to brave new frontiers. Yet if we fail to fulfill our part of the bargain, the grant will be withdrawn. In spite of this, the washed-up pirates elect to laze their days away. There is still time. We need only clear away the rocks and debris for the area to be deemed settled. If you are willing to help, you'll find a shovel outside the hut on the hillside. Ah, you must be the adventurer Baderon promised to send along. Carbon Dishmaruk was it? You honored his word, so that's a good start. I'm Stelwyn, the old bastard as Baderon likely described me, and this here is my humble orchard. A good number of the lads and lasses working here once terrorized the high seas, and if you're wondering why I employ these scrags, well, they used to crew my pirate ship. But the calamity did for our ship, like it did so many others, and I was sore wounded into the bargain. I had to feed myself and my crew somehow, and Admiral Merlewebb's initiative to get us landlocked buccaneers working in the field seemed too fine an offer to refuse. Well, it turns out you can take the pirate away from the sea, but you can't take the sea away from the pirate. A lot of my blokes just never took to tending the soil, you see. And unfortunately, the botanist I called in to train him have been wringing their hands in black despair. With so much work piling up, I need a tougher soul like you to step in and help where it's needed. I've a mind to set you a task, Djit-Maruk, but before I do, I need to be sure you're properly kitted out. Pirates don't care to parley with dandies, you understand. It might well be that the ones here have traded in their cutlasses for coulters, but they're still rogues at heart. I know a solid set of gear when I see it. Come back when you think you're more suitably equipped. Gun cat. You've certainly proven you are not one to let obstacles stand in your path. If only those supposedly pioneering pirates were half as industrious as you. Expanding borders is all well and good, but the Admiral ought to know rugged frontiers can't be settled by layabouts. But I can't even rely on those rotten pirates to pick these ripe oranges. Yet if I leave them for a day longer, they're like to fall from the boughs. Mayhap you can grab a few for me. You're not afraid of a pesky hornet or two, are you? Look at those luscious oranges brimming with nectar. They could drop any second. Ah, ripe to perfection, how sweet it is. If that lackadaisical lot of retired pirates comes down with scurvy, it'd serve them right. It just goes to show you can't teach an old sea dog new tricks. You'd think the Admiral would know that. Lanosian orange nectar is sweet, but rest assured it's paid for in sweat. We have to pollinate each orange by hand because of the blasted pucks that prey on the nearby bees. If we could only eradicate some 5 puck hatchlings, it would save us from having to do nature's work. buzz on the wind tells me you've done the deed. The only pests plaguing my orchard are those woeful whelps out of water. If only you could rid me of the parasitic pirates as you did the pesky pucks. Cool. The Bismarck wants fresh lamb, does it? Gods, I could do with a slice myself, fresh off the grill and dripping in its own juices. Sorry, friend, I haven't had a single bite to eat since my shift began. Any road you can get lamb easily enough by hunting the lambs that graze outside the city. Go through the Zephyr Gate and follow the path east and south for a bit. You'll run into the fluffy and tasty critters before long. I see the creatures beyond the city walls pose you little threat. It is with great pleasure, then, that I formally recognize your initiation into the guild. From this day forth, you may proudly bear the title of Arcanist. I suggest you continue your forays into the wilderness and keep the pages of your grimoire turning. There is no finer teacher than the harsh mistress of experience, and to commemorate this occasion I gift you with this hunting log. The enemies marked within its pages have been specifically chosen to challenge your abilities in Arcanima. When you devise a new strategy or tactic, you now have a ready source of opponents on which to test it. And when you feel you can command Carbuncle as easily as you might move your own limbs, return to me for further instruction. I will be waiting. Ah, Carbon, isn't it? Are you eating well? An empty stomach distracts the mind and leads to hurried judgment. I must oft remind my Arcanists to take meals, so ensconced do they become in their studies. Speaking of which, have you been practicing your tactics with Carbuncle? I believe it is time to assess the improvement of your skills. As with your previous trial, I would have you defeat foes in Lower Lenosha, 3 wild dodos and 3 tiny mandragoras, to be precise. Watch carefully the behavior of your opponents, formulate an effective strategy, and utilize your arcane entity to its fullest potential. I expect you back in time for breakfast. Dojeby said an adventurer might be dropping by to deliver something special. That you, lad? Isles, lad, you didn't have to go to all this trouble. This goddamn smell. I ate at Aurelia Umbrella since I was a sellsword. 'Tis only the nastiest shite I ever put in me mouth. We tried sprinkling it with salt and cooking it over a campfire, but 'twas still little better than chewing on driftwood. Try it for yourself, lads. You'll see what I mean. Ah, so you slew a few rats. Good on you, lad. This boat comes through the other day and plops this huge sack the size of a bleeding gooboo on the counter, saying any man what slays rats can have something from within. When I inquires as to why, all he says is the damn noise they make when scurrying about is driving him insane. You ask me, though, he was already a bit touched. Something tells me the poor lad'll never find peace. Alright, I need to take a quick break, so I'll be right back, everybody. Alright, I'm gonna let the game music play in the background so that you can enjoy. I just had to get some lunch. I was starving, so here we go. Ah, that aura of confidence tells me you've not been idle since last we met. I hope I've read you all right. Read you aright, for I have a task that requires the attention of a capable adventurer. Might that adventurer be you? Good to hear. Then I shall lay before you the sorry tale. You will have heard rumors of the abductions. Citizens have been disappearing from every corner of Limsa Limensa, as if plucked from the face of Heidelin, boots and all, by an unseen hand. And what's this got to do with Summerford Farms, you might ask? Well, that remains to be seen, but it seems a collection of right unsavory fellows with azure tattooed faces has been creeping up to the edges of the fields and spying on my human. Now, I doubt anyone would enjoy being scrutinized by such savages at the best of times, but the farmhands are convinced that they're the kidnappers of rumor come for their hides. Needless to say, they're beside themselves with worry, and their work's suffering for it, which is the very last thing I need when my old crewmen are still getting used to their new jobs. 'Tis a struggle to get 'em to leave the farmhouse of a mornin'. That is, as they say, where you come in. Would you be willing to investigate these tattooed thugs for me? Good lad. The sooner we get to the bottom of this, the sooner this place will start to resemble a working farm again. I suggest you begin by having a look around Seasong Grotto. If reports are to be believed, our unwelcome visitors have occupied the place. Be careful though, Dijit Maruk. I couldn't say for sure what manner of miscreants we're dealing with here. If they are the kidnappers, we'll just be on your guard, alright? 12 take me if it ain't a real life venture. I could use some help if it's help you're proffering. You see, I'm tasked with tilling the orchard so that the roots of these here trees might breathe better, like, but it seems such each and every step I take is straight into a damned molehill. I've already gone and lamed me left leg, and can I afford him to lame me right? So I was thinking I could get myself a true adventure to whack the bloody moles one good. What do you say? Me da was right. You can always trust a venture to right the wrongs of this world. Been enough of me yapping. Now get to whacking.
私は支える波であり、私は導く風である。私は夜の星であり、私は朝の空である。私は海で生を受け、そして海で死に向かう。その筆跡に刻まれた船乗りたちの鎮魂歌よ。海で生まれて海で死ぬ、リムサロミンサに生きる民の生き様ね。海に帰ることができた船乗りには、大地に散った船乗りには、彼らの魂が海へ戻るための祈りを。あなた、最近サマーフォード礁に出入りしている冒険者ね。噂の人さらいを追ってたんだけど、外れだったかしら。案外当たりだったのかも。やはりここのエーテルの乱れは人為的なものだったのね。人さらいを追う者がここに2人、それを襲う魔物。この剣、口封じを従っているのは一体誰なのかしら。さあやっつけるわよ、あなたと私の2人でね。 光のクリスタルを手にし者よ。星の声を聞く者よ。我が名はハイデリン。星闇はすべてを蝕む、すべての命を奪う存在。闇に屈せぬ光の意志を持つ者よ。どうか星を滅びより救うためにあなたの力を。光のクリスタルは闇を払う力。世界を巡り光のクリスタルを手に入れるのです。あなたの戦いが、魔法が、行動が光のクリスタルを生み出すでしょう。それが光の意志を持つあなたの力。光の意志を持つ者よ。どうかあなたの力。気がついた？やはりこの子無理やりにけしかけられたようね。グーブーの背中にこれが刺さっていたわ。このナイフ、ロープを扱う船乗りたちが使うものよ。どうやらこの件、船乗り、それも海賊たちが絡んでいるのは確かなようね。ところであなた大丈夫？エーテルにでも酔ったのかしら。戦闘の後急に倒れたから驚いたわ。大きなクリスタル、一体何の話を？これは思わぬ収穫もあったものね。何でもない、こっちのことよ。私はもう少しこの件を追ってみるつもり。あなたは依頼主に注意を促しなさい。これを見せて海賊らしき者が暗躍しているとね。これから忙しくなりそうだわ。 クリスタルの光が重なるときまた会いましょう。